don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't.
Hey team, this video is on the only competition you need is you. You versus you. Okay, in this video, I just wanted to touch on some things that I think are really going to be important for you in the new year. I know it's I'm making this video January 2nd, 2025, so maybe you're going to be watching this video when I launch it. Maybe you're going to be watching this video several years from now or several months from now. The bottom line when it comes to competing in middle to long distance running really comes down to the clock. It comes down to you preparing the very best you can in your chosen event to perform at the highest level. And in most cases, it's going to take you several years to get to a point where you're competing at the level that you're dreaming about. The biggest problem for myself and a lot of other athletes, just speaking from experience, is we expect far more out of ourselves than we're prepared to compete at. My problem was when I was in high school, I was thinking about breaking the 4-minute mile or breaking 4 minutes for 1,600 meters. I know it's 9 meters short of a mile, but my goal was breaking 4 minutes. And I was thinking about that when I was a freshman in high school, but my PR for 1,600 meters as a high school freshman was 5:09. And I never got to the point where I could break 4 minutes for the full mile. I ended up running 4:22. But again, that took me from 1992 running the 1,600 in 5:09, and then it got me to running 4:25 for 1,600 meters by the end of my high school career. But I didn't run 4:22 for the full mile until I was a junior in college in a time trial at the University of Florida. My collegiate coach, Jack Hazen, had us do an all-out mile on the University of Florida's track. And our top guy that particular day ran 4:19. His name was Mike Allman. Mike was a 24:30 8K guy who was on the team with me when I ran 24:32 at the Notre Dame International 8K Cross Country Championships. He ran 24:30. And Mike ran 4:19. Another guy on our team, John Fivecoat, ran 4:20. And if my brother's watching this video, he'll definitely remember these guys, John Fivecoat. And then our Mike Allman ran 4:19, and I ran 4:22. So preparing for any type of race that you're aiming for, it's going to come down to you. It's going to come down to your preparation, how badly you want success, how long are you willing to prepare. A lot of cases, I've known a lot of friends of mine over the years that were in this sport that retired years ago that never really wanted to continue to train after college. Some moved on after high school. They just stopped running. And these were really strong athletes that had a lot of potential. I was at the regional meet. I finished, the top 4 went to state in the 1,600 meter, and I ended up finishing 6th in 4:26. Again, made a mistake of going out in 60 seconds the first quarter, which really cost me. And I always tell athletes, be very mindful when you're running the 1,600 or when you're running the 1,500 if you're in college. Don't try to win that race in the first lap. Okay, so that kind of really cost me going to state. I really should have just went out in 66, 65, 66 instead of trying to run a 4-minute mile in that race. Again, the only competition you ever need is you. You versus you, not you versus someone else. Yes, you're going to be competing against other athletes, but it really comes down to you. It comes down to your preparation. It comes down to competing against the clock. Okay, if you take the stress of preparing for your races and place all of your emphasis and focus on, okay, I'm going to prepare the very best that I can for my races and be the very best that I can be as an athlete, and not worry about what other athletes have run going into my races or who's in the race. If you do the very best you can in your preparation and train at a level that you know that you're not going to be able to race at in your race, you're going to train at paces that are significantly faster, but you're also going to be smart. You're going to know that, hey, for me to continue to really push my body and prepare for these races that I'm preparing for, I know I have to jog on my easy days. I have to make sure that I'm slowing down enough on my recovery days that I continue to adapt and get faster. Okay, because I've known athletes that that just naturally run way too fast on their easy days, and then they have issues at times holding paces in training and in their races. Sometimes their athletes are much better in their races than they are in training, and there are other athletes that are far better in training than they are in their races. So it's in as you prepare for your races, just know that you have to be strategic. You have to be competitive and to go into your races in the best possible shape. Know that there's only so many times you can really stress yourself in training before you start to see some diminished returns. So be a lot smarter this year than you were in 2024, or whatever time frame you're watching this video. Be very smart. Look at your logs. If you were not getting the results you were wanting, were you running too fast in training? Did you give yourself sufficient time to prepare for your race? Were you trying to prepare for, say, a 5-mile race in a matter of 8 weeks, or did you give yourself 16 weeks? Were you training for a marathon, and did you run too fast in the first half? Do you think you could have backed off and ran a little bit more conservative in that first half and then ran faster? A lot of runners, I do think that negative splits in your races, if you can do that, that's a great way to run a PR. But a lot of cases, at least for me too, I always PR'd with positive splits. So I would always run way too aggressive in the first half. I would just say, screw it, I'm going to get in the best possible shape I can be in, and I'm just going to go for it in the race. And if I slow down, I slow down. And I ran my best times when I was in my 30s. Okay, so I think in most cases, I think you're going to perform at your highest level, whether you're training for track and field or you're training for road races. It's going to happen in most cases in your 30s. Okay, I ran my PR for the marathon when I was 31. I ran my PR for the 10 mile when I was 31, the half marathon. I ran my fastest 5K on the roads when I was 32, and ran my last marathon competitive time when I was 37. So yes, there are other examples. You may be an example of it where you set a PR in your 40s. And this happens a lot. I think that athletes that are preparing for these races in their 40s especially, you have to have a very high amount of motivation if you still want to do this and really compete at a high level in your 40s and even in your 50s. There's some examples of runners here on the channel that leave comments that are in their 50s and still running under 3 hours for the marathon. That's a very tough time to hold. Even if you're in your mid-20s, you have to be very fit to break a sub 3 hour marathon. You know, a lot of athletes, 6:52 mile pace or 4:16 kilometer pace, go out and try to do that. Try to run that for, say, 10 miles. You have to be in good shape, but to do it for 26 is another thing. And so again, it comes down to your real competition. I want you stressing less in 2025 than you were in 2024. Focus less on who's in your race, what times they run. Focus 100% of your time and energy on being the best possible athlete that you can be, and prepare the best possible way you can, and take that additional stress, any other stress that's going on. If the weather conditions aren't perfect for your race, guess what? Everybody else is going to have to compete in it. So it's how you handle it going into your race that's going to set you up for success. If it's windy, utilize drafting. Draft off other athletes if you have to. If it comes to a point where you're in control in the race, you have to make that move and be as confident as you can, regardless of what the weather is going to throw at you. Okay, I too have competed in every possible weather condition you can think of, for even sandstorms. When I was running races, when I was in Kuwait, when I was stationed in Kuwait in 2003, I was running races around the perimeter of our base. Competing against other athletes, other soldiers, and service members that were from other countries. The majority were from Britain at that time, but again, sandstorms, blizzards, high winds, rain, sleet, snow, all of that. I've dealt with it as well. So I like to share this just with my viewers, because I don't want you to think that it's been a simple, easy road, or that I had a great deal of talent, because I never considered myself having a lot of talent, but I had to really rely on my work ethic. And really it came down to, again, my own preparation. I was very driven for what I wanted to do. And I knew that if I was ever going to get to the level of competing at the level that I was dreaming about, I knew I was going to have to be immersed and tenacious about what I was aiming for. So be that way. Utilize what you have the most of, your drive and motivation. If you don't have a great deal of talent, make up for it with your work ethic. If you have a great deal of talent, kudos to you, but you're still going to have to work hard. And, you can't just rely on your talent. There's other athletes out there that are hungry and driven and want success, and they're going to be studying everything that they have to do in order to get to the next level. If you're slacking just a little bit, they're going to catch up to you. So again, the only competition you ever need is you versus that clock. Okay, don't focus on so much on the other factors that you have no control over. You don't have control over who's in your race. Whoever's in the race is going to show up. Great. If it's somebody that's run faster than you, then be motivated by that. But again, run your race in your competition. Focus on your effort and staying as relaxed as you can in the race, being as prepared as you possibly can be prior to going into the race, and you're going to set yourself up for success. So I hope this video is helpful for all of you. If you're looking to take your training and racing to the next level, check out the resources below these videos or on RunDreamAchieve.com. I'm certain that they will help you in your preparation and get you to the starting line in your next upcoming race in the best possible shape possible. So thank you so much for your support, and I will talk to you all in the next video.